What's up, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 32. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Brian Manjoma
Hey guys, what's up?
and Chris Seeley.
How y'all doing?
All right, Brett may be along later. Manny will be back on Thursday. By the way, did you guys see the comment section for the last Throwdown Your Questions? I was not expecting that.
I seen some of it, then I just went away because I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I think it got crazier when Torrance jumped in there. That's when it really got nuts.
I think he's just starting trouble there.
Yeah, I don't think he's a fan of Final Stage Boss.
Oh, yeah, no.
And then people started taking shit personal. It's like, it wasn't even a special episode. It was the regular-ass episode of the question show, and it just exploded. We didn't do anything out of the ordinary. I don't get it.
You know how the internet is. Like, someone says something wrong, they take it personal somehow, for some reason.
Yeah. It's insane. But
Well, last time I checked in, there were like 40 comments, so...
yeah, it's
69.
insane.
Oh,
69, yeah. Boy, anyway, so yeah, among all that, we did get some questions, so let's get right into it. Speaking about Final Stage Boss, he leads us off as usual. This is a good one. Why do some people try to discredit worldwide console sales? Worldwide console sales are all that matters for everything except gaming, it seems, if a certain group of gamers have their way. If you ask these same people how much did Halo 4 sell, they'll tell you 9 million, which are, yep, you guessed it, worldwide sales. Isn't it ironic, don't you think? I don't get it. Why would you like not include the entire world when you're talking about console sales? I don't get it, but I guess the only reason I could come up with this is like if your console of choice isn't doing very well, you have to go to a specific area of the world where it is doing well, so you could kind of make yourself feel better about it. That's the only kind of wacky theory I have, because that's what's going on now. These Xbox guys are like, oh yeah, Xbox is doing great. Yeah, like they're doing great. It's going to close the gap. It's like, yeah, it could close the gap in America theoretically, but worldwide it ain't happening. So they have to discredit it, I guess, just so they don't see the bigger picture of how badly the console is doing. And this applies to last gen too. Sony was doing bad. Everybody was like, "Oh, look at worldwide sales." So that's the flip of it, Look at American sales.
And the best one that I remember was when the PS3 wasn't doing so good. I used to hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, look at their Japan sales." I was like, "Okay, yeah, it's doing better than Xbox in Japan, but it's still like a mighty small fraction of like everything in the world,
Yeah.
Right. Remember what I said when Hip Hop Gamer was on here? I said numbers and statistics don't lie, but people use numbers to lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of what's happening. It's like whatever's convenient for people to look at and take just a segment of some statistics and go and to validate their argument, they're going to do it, right? Just like Brian said, it's like, oh, look at Japanese sales. Yeah, but that's such a tiny market. You go to Europe and North America, and then the complete opposite is happening. Then your argument is null and void.
Yeah, and Brian, what about you as a a person who lives in Europe? What do you think about people who just like, oh, European sales, they don't count, only American ones do? Like, what the fuck, really?
It's pure asinine. I mean, like seriously, it's like the European market is equally as big, if not bigger, than the U.S. market.
Yes,
so
exactly.
So then by discrediting it, like you essentially discredit potentially a quarter or a third of sales in general, and just that's not how things work. Like you can't just discredit something simply because that it disagrees with your statement, or your standing. Like you have to take everything into account. Like if the console is doing well, like worldwide, then it's doing well worldwide. If it's not doing so well, then it's not doing so well. It's like shit, it's gonna happen. Like not every console will be successful. Like last generation, as everyone says, was a giant fluke. Like all consoles did ridiculously well, somehow.
Yeah.
Like all three sold over 80 million each, and that's unprecedented as far as I know. So, oh gosh, like if we get another of last generation, then that'd be great. Of course, that's more consoles sold, but I really don't think that we will.
No, it's not. It was a fluke, just like you said, a complete fluke. It ain't gonna happen again. It's obviously not gonna happen again. Nintendo ain't gonna catch up. Microsoft, I don't think they're gonna catch up either, man. Like they'll do better probably, but that gap is too huge now, man. And I think like we talked about before, it's the word of mouth that it's for Sony now this generation. Last gen it was for Xbox. Now it's for Sony. But yeah, I think that's what it is. They're like, oh shit, it's doing really bad worldwide. But the worldwide doesn't count. Only America counts. Let's look at those numbers. Then those numbers kind of give you more of the narrative you want to hear, that the Xbox is doing good. Xbox is doing good, but not great. But it's silly. It's silly how these people twist the numbers to, meet their little goals. Insanity.
Well,
Right.
I don't understand why they need to really. Why is everybody having this argument? If you can't look at just one part of a company, except for Nintendo, which is that's all they do, so they're in big trouble. But Microsoft is a huge company, and they could keep piling in all their Windows and Enterprise money into Xbox if they wanted to. They'll just be like, here, stop the bleeding, go keep running with it. They have money to burn. They're fucking. They're a huge company. They have their hands in everything. They could do that.
I find it, now that you bring it up, I find it interesting how the same guys who discredit worldwide sales, the same guys who talk about, hey, look at Sony as a whole, they're doing horribly. How come you look at the whole in that situation, but you don't look at the whole in the other situation? Huh? Again, you're trying to find your narrative.
Yeah, I can't just go like, well, Sony's doing great. No, PlayStation's doing great, and Sony as a whole is doing terrible. If I look at Sony Pictures as a component, then I'd be like, Sony is screwed. But you can't do that. But if you look at all the things that Sony's doing, then you're like, oh shit, there's some problems. Sony Online Entertainment gets sold. They're trying to get out of TVs. They got out of PCs. This you have to take all of it into account. It's like, whoa. There may be trouble in paradise.
Exactly.
The only paradise for them is PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, next question. Now, the first part of this, just let me get through it, and then we'll address it, because I'm like, wait. Okay. Okay, almost all multi-plats that are 1080p 60 frames on the PS4 are only 800 to 960 frames per second on Xbox One. The power of the cloud and the secret sauce did nothing to change this. So do you think DirectX 12 will bring multiplats on Xbox One on par with the PS4 version? Let's tackle the first part of it. What multiplats are like 1080p 60 frames on PS4? I can't even name any. Like, can you? Yeah, I can't even name one.
The only ones I can possibly think of are Metro Redux. I know that was 1080 60.
Okay, actually, I should rephrase that. This gen games, like, because there are a lot of last gen games that did that.
I was just about to say, like, maybe the remasters, but as far as I know, this gen, I don't think there are any multiplats that are like that.
No, I forgot about that. If you're talking about the remasters, then yeah, you get 60 frames, 1080p. But talking about just this gen games, I can't name a single one on PS4. So that first part of the question is kind of off. So I had to address that. Now about the second part, do you think the secret sauce? There is no secret sauce. Stop with the secret sauce bullshit. The DirectX 12 is not going to do anything. Others think, I know you don't like hearing that. Trust me, it's not going to do anything. It's going to do something for your PC. It ain't going to do nothing for your Xbox. It's a closed system, dude. Sorry. So no, it's not going to do anything.
The thing with DX12 is that I don't understand fully how it will make the Xbox One better, according to how some people talk about it. Because as far as I understand, it's just better API interface for graphics cards. So essentially, they can run better with less overhead. So essentially, more performance. But how that will affect the Xbox One, I am not too sure. But so far, I've seen like good things on PC sides, and so far I'm yet to see any real numbers on Xbox One side. So far it is looking like nothing.
Yeah, but even if they adopt it, even if it gets right, even if dev houses start adopting DirectX 12, it's going to be a year or two before you see games taking advantage of it, right? It's not like people are talking about it like it's overclocking. It's not. Like having a new API and is not the same thing as going and fucking overclocking your computer to make it faster. It's not this. That's not what it does. Like people are talking about, like all of a sudden you're going to install it and you're going to see this instant performance boost. It's not the way it works.
No.
Yeah, I want to welcome the Murdochs to the house. They just showed up. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Sorry, we're apparently the only ones who watch Game of Thrones live-ish.
Yeah, it's okay. We knew you guys were going to show up later on, so no need to apologize. Hope you're doing well.
Fuck those guys.
Oh, don't worry. We somebody else may be late for Throwdown, but we'll talk about that later.
Hey man, life's too short. Gotta sit back, smell the roses, and watch Game of Thrones while
I heard it was a good episode too tonight, so that's good.
Hey man, I had peanut butter and bacon sandwiches. My wife, Game of Thrones. So like, sorry, but fuck you
Life is
guys.
good, man. Hey Brett, since you're here, what do you think about this whole DX12 bullshit? Do you think it'll make Xbox games as good as PS4?
Honestly, I've been trying to figure out since I popped in here, like where you guys are at in the show notes. And
We're around the second question, bro.
Okay.
By the way, we debunked the first part of that question because it's like, no, only last gen games
Yeah. So
get.
the cloud and secrets us nothing to change. So do you think the external will multiply? What? No. No. Like, just stop it. Just seriously, just stop it. There's no like magic fucking like I don't care if they sacrifice orphans to an Xbox. Like you could pour the blood of an orphan and have it powered by a forsaken soul. And it's not, because that's not the way fucking hardware works.
Exactly.
No, what you could do is have incredibly talented development teams that can do more with less than other development teams. I mean, keep in mind, we're working with raw resources here. Like, so, unfortunately, it's a lot of people seem kind of fooled by the fact that PlayStation kind of, unlocked its architecture during the PS3 era. But that was because it was an incredibly complicated and obtuse, counterintuitive way to program. The people had to figure out how to utilize the actual power of the PlayStation. So yeah, you saw an increase, as the generation went on, but that was mostly because people were already used to programming for Windows and Microsoft-based stuff. So no, you're not really going to see the equivalent of that. And no, there's nothing that's going to make a console with lower specs better than a console with higher specs. The same way there's nobody that can make a computer with lower specs better than a computer with higher specs. That's what hardware is for, unless you're overclocking something, in which case you're ruining the durability of it. Like, it's fucking logic. I'm sorry I can't make 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that, with the first question. It's like you're trying to make something fit your narrative, but your narrative isn't based on facts, so sorry, it doesn't work, All right, moving on to the last question by Final Stage Boss. This one's funny. Do you think Microsoft will have the balls and/or stupidity again to release their new Xbox console at the same time as Sony's new PlayStation console? I don't know how to answer this one because it's like, why? If you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right? Like, we released it before.
They better damn well be first.
Yeah, I guess that's the only thing, but I don't know.
I mean, people are gonna, you're gonna take a sacrifice in quality, I think. But at this point, that's pretty much all they have to throw at the wall is what hardware can they get deals with, and how can they push this shit out first ahead of Sony.
Yeah, because that's what worked for them last gen. That's the reason they were ahead most of the time, because they came out first. But
yeah, like a year ahead.
A year ahead, yeah.
I don't think Sony's gonna let that happen again. But if they could manage it, cool, great.
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump in on this?
Just don't do what Nintendo did. They came out a year ahead this gen.
Yeah, and look what happened, right?
Yeah, don't do that.
All right. Next, Killax. If you could own a development company and revive one of their lost games, what will it be? I need time to think about this one.
Really, Tony? Like, even given the recent news, you still need time to think about that?
Well, there's a lot of recent news. Oh, you mean Konami and Metal Gear? You know what? I'm going to say this. Because Metal Gear, as far as I'm concerned, they're done. Because they need Kojima back.
Oh, no. Silent Hills.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't care about that game. I'll take over Konami, and I'll bring back Castlevania. That's the only game that's been on my mind lately, thanks to Bloodborne. That's what I would do. I would bring back real Castlevania, not fake Castlevania. Fuck Lords of Shadow. Fuck that game all day, every day.
Oh.
All right, so that's my answer for now until I come up with another one. Because Crystal Dynamics is still around, because I would want them to bring back Soul Reaver.
Well, it doesn't say you'd have to revive a company. Revive a game.
Okay, you know what? I've been talking about Soul Reaver more than anything. Yeah, bring back Soul Reaver. Who was that? Crystal Dynamics, right? Bring that shit back. God damn it. We need Raziel and Kane and all that good shit. Kane is deified. All right, Chris, what about you, man?
Shit, that was a good answer. I don't know. Because I was just thinking, like, say,
gotcha, bitch.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I don't. I'll pass for now. I gotta think about this now.
All right. Well, oh, by the way, Tonight's Throwdown sponsored by Bud Light. All right, Brian.
It's a tough one. Like my first thought was Pandemic and bring them back for the Mercenaries series. It's basically third-person game where you
Oh
blow
shit!
shit
I
up.
remember Mercenaries.
And
Yeah.
It's basically Michael Bay the video game. Like literally just Michael Bay the video game. I guess Criterion bring back like Burnout because we need another Burnout game. But final thought
Yes.
is whichever
Yes.
studio is responsible for the Need for Speed Underground franchise. I think it was Black Box Entertainment, which got merged into EA something. I think it was EA Montreal, if I remember correctly. But that and either Most Wanted 2 or Underground 3, because those are the two games that EA racing fans have been waiting for so long that just aren't going to happen.
That's a damn shame. I really liked Underground too. That was a good game.
And shout out to Red Faction people. Who are they again?
What's in that THQ?
I don't know if they were the
God
developers.
damn it,
I think they were the publishers. I'm sorry that I like good games. You know, geez, it's not my fault. But yeah,
Oh, no,
Red
just-
Faction.
It was just the natural trail off that you have, and I was about to jump in. You're like, oh yeah, and by the way, Red Faction. I was just like, oh man, rug right out from under my feet.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Same impression. All right, Bretzel, can you come up with another one then?
Oh, now it jumps to me. Thanks,
Yes.
Brian. I see
Hey,
how
we're
this goes.
talking.
No, I was all excited to talk about Red Faction. I want to see KOTOR come back, if like not as an MMO, because that was terrible. I multiplayer would be fine in it. But yeah, I want to see KOTOR come back, and I want to see Red Faction come back, but not the last Red Faction.
With
The
the
one
alien.
before that. The one where you were on the surface and you could attach like a remote mine to the front of your vehicle and drive it off a cliff through the roof of a building and then dive out as if it broke through the first floor, leap out a window and press the button for like a beautiful like Michael Bay moment. Like
Sounds like a scene
destruction-
from Furious 7.
Yeah, no, there was nothing as amazing as the destructive physics in that game. I loved somebody popping up over like a cement cover and taking pot shots at you. So you go running at him at full speed and like bust through the barricade with a hammer and then just go ping, 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 and like, bounce off into a building somewhere. Or you just get really pissed off at a sniper, so you run around taking out supports until the building just kind of topples. And then when you find him in the rubble, you just kick his ass with a hammer. Like,
Nice.
it's a beautiful feeling that I haven't had in other video games, and I really want back.
All right, Rachel, what about you? Hello? She's not listening. There it is.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was flipping between because Google Hangouts only works in Google, and I use Waterfox. So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much what Brett said.
The Red Factions?
Yeah. I don't have that strong.
No Command and Conquer for you, huh?
Yeah.
I thought about Command and Conquer, but they fucked it so hard.
Yeah, they really did. I don't want to. It's one of those things that I kind of don't want to see back.
Oh, wow.
Because you can kind of tell that it'll just fuck it up.
Yeah, but you're the one in charge now.
I know. I don't want to be in charge. It's too much responsibility.
Oh, man. All right, Chris, did you finally figure out what your answer is?
Yeah, I guess. I guess I would resurrect 989 and bring back Siphon Filter.
Oh, shit. I know some people are going to be happy about that answer.
Oh, I don't care. I like
No,
Siphon
I said they're going to be happy.
Oh, they're gonna be happy. Oh, I thought you said they weren't gonna be happy.
No, they're going to be very happy about that because everybody and their mother is asking for that fucking game.
Yeah, that's. I was thinking about that again when they. What was it after E3? I thought that was like the secret game we're gonna get. I was like, oh, they're gonna bring back Siphon Filter because they copyrighted some weird name that had something to do with viruses, and I was like, maybe it's Siphon Filter. No, it's not. And 989, they just make sports games. That's boring.
Yeah, that's a
Bring
waste
back-
of time.
Yeah, it's like they used to make action games, and like Siphon Filter. So I would do that. I'd bring that back, and those games are great.
Awesome.
I totally didn't realize that or didn't think about the fact that we could own whatever this is. So any company we'd buy, we'd have complete control over the game, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'd go right out, buy Square, and make them remake Final Fantasy VII. I would force them to fucking do it. And every time they bitch me, like, God forbid, people want you to remake what's generally acclaimed as one of the greatest video games of all time. Shut up and get back to work.
Yes. Just stop everything in production. Just focus on that.
Yeah, what is this, Moogle Wars? Fuck this shit. Go get to work.
Moogle Wars. All right, next question. What did you all think of the new Call of Duty trailer? It looks like Advanced Warfare 2, which is probably going to come out next year. Like, I didn't see any difference between that and Advanced Warfare. It has robots in it. That's cool. And it has Call of Duty stuff in it. Okay. I don't really have any more thoughts. It's Call of Duty with robots, basically. It's Advanced Warfare 2 or Advanced Warfare 1.5 because 2 is going to come out next year. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, so Call of Duty was released, and then Titanfall copied Call of Duty, and then Call of Duty now copied Titanfall. No, yeah, to make Advanced Warfare,
Yeah,
and then now Black Ops is copying Advanced Warfare. So this Call of Duty is essentially a copy of a copy of a copy
The
of Call
snake
of Duty.
is eating itself.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. You know, I liked the whole like Deus Ex theme thing they had with all
did
like
notice that,
modified
yeah.
soldiers. You know, I like the whole thing. Like, I really do like some of the plot things or the plot devices that they have. Like the whole thing. Okay, you're a soldier with advanced arms and stuff like that. Like, what happens when the arms start fighting back? It's like, Jesus Christ! It's like traditional sci-fi robots want to kill humans again. You know, so that's always fun to watch. It reminded me a lot of Crisis. I mean, there was a lot of punching guys and sliding around. I'm like, this is Crisis. This is literally what you do in Crisis. Like, you punch guys in the face and run around and shoot them. I did like the whole transforming arm into a gun thing. It's probably overplayed, but I thought it was pretty cool because, hey, like Vanquish did it, and that was pretty awesome. So it's always pretty neat. But ultimately, I just don't know. It's like I really did enjoy the first Black Ops. Second one I missed out on. I'll be going back to play it eventually. So who knows? It may be good. It's just very up in the air because I know that the multiplayer will be the same multiplayer we've had for so long, and I have a funny feeling that essentially, as Tony said, this will be like Advanced Warfare 2 essentially, or 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah. All right. Anybody else saw the trailer? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've completely skipped this genre over the last like 10 years. Just like, whenever I played it, I was always that retard that just pointed at the sky and spun around, and I was like, this is stupid. And then once I figured out actually how to play the game, I didn't like it because it was full of retards. So it was just like retards on top of retards on top of retards. But I might give Blops 3 a shot. I don't know.
I mean, it looks cool, but it just looks like.
Yeah, it was your
Warfare.
standard. It was your standard fare, and of course, a whole bunch of cutscenes really sell me on the game. Like driving past a house, seeing the yard is gonna make me want to buy the house. So, yeah, overwhelming meh.
I like that one. All right, anybody else?
I was really happy with the fact that I didn't see the trailer.
Okay. Damn.
Okay.
Son. All right, Chris, did you even see it?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the teaser, and I didn't watch the whole trailer, but I don't know what to think. Like, it's going so far in the future, and they're getting really sci-fi with everything that I don't even know. Don't call it Call of Duty anymore. It's like I liked Black Ops 1 because it was in the past and it was dealing with all this stuff that was happening during Vietnam, and then all of a sudden now we're in like 2060 or whenever this game is going to take place. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And now there's robots. I don't know. I don't know anymore. And I don't know. Like I'll see. Like the Advanced Warfare was okay, and what really made that story was Kevin Spacey. I hope they get another fucking guy in there. Like they need a heavy in that shit because he made that fucking game.
Yeah, maybe they'll get another one like him. Who knows? All right, last question from Killax. This is a fun one. Which celebrity or model will you have sex with, marry, or kill off?
What?
Yeah, it's the classic marry, kill, fuck type question.
Yeah, but you don't they usually give you 3 people?
No.
Yeah,
this
you
time
gotta,
Yeah.
you,
This
you
one.
gotta, you gotta put it in some sort of context, man.
I just read the question as is, man. So
Yeah,
you just gotta
normally
pick.
they give you a few people, like out of
Mhm.
these 3 people, marry, kill, fuck. So, I don't know.
I guess it's open-ended this time, which is
It is open ended.
I'm gonna jump on one, and I'm gonna go with the Kardashian women. The mom, Kim, and the younger one that's into modeling now.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, Mary, kill. Mary, shit. What did I get myself into?
No, yeah. That's
what
bad.
did
Kill Kim. Period. Fucking kill Kim. Okay. Fuck the older one. Marry the little one because she's maybe salvageable. Maybe you can turn it around. Maybe she's not completely corrupted yet.
Wow. I'm surprised that there was no Alison Brie there.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to. No.
She didn't realize that was an option. Now she's like, whoa.
Obviously.
Hold up.
No, but I had to stick with a theme, so I just picked an arbitrary theme, and that's what you get.
All right, I'm not sticking to a theme, so I'm gonna go with kill offers. Celebrity, right? It could be a celebrity. Kill M. Night Shyamalan. Just get rid of him. Get rid of this man. We don't need him anymore. Which celebrity would I want to have sex with? There's so many choices. So many choices. So many choices I can't even think of one. Oh, Miranda Baccarin. She's fucking hot, man. Even though that's more of a love-making woman, but yeah, no, I want to fuck her. And who would I want to marry? I don't know. That's a good question because you don't know these people. They could be crazy. You know, I don't want to marry. You know what? Fuck. I'm not answering to marry, but fuck marriage is stupid. All right. So yeah, Miranda Baccarin, I want to have sex with and kill M. Night Shyamalan. All right, that's my answers. I'm sticking to it. Brian, looking at you now.
So
You
far
can marry that Bud Light.
Hey, the shit is
Love
good,
it so
man.
much.
I'll marry beer. There we go. Wait, if I'm gonna marry beer, I'm gonna marry Gary Busey, I guess. He's fucking drunk.
Oh, God.
I think you did a short. Can we edit that and post just say you married Gary Busey?
Yeah, why not, right? He's rich. He's rich. I'll marry him. Shit, it's 2015, right? I don't have to have sex with the man. I just have to marry him.
Exactly. That would be an interesting life. Everybody has to admit that.
It really would. Why wouldn't you want to marry Gary
Gary with all his teeth? You're like, you want to go down to the beach?
Like, okay, sure, Gary Busey.
You do whatever Gary Busey wants you to do. You're the wife in that marriage.
I found a seashell.
Yeah, all right. Brian, go ahead.
So far I've gone as far as kill off the Kardashians because I'm just not a big fan of the antics. I just think that they're a bunch of no-talent hacks.
You can't say kill off the whole family. That's not fair.
Why not? Kill them all.
If I knew that was an option, I would have been like, fuck, kill them all.
Wipe that.
If they all live in the same house, it's a pretty good option that you could say you kill them all.
Wipe that wretched breed off the face of the earth.
Okay.
Well, Brett, I've been playing like a lot of Red Faction Guerrilla, so I'm very well versed on how to take down like a building in style.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like saying like the Kennedys who are just fucking everywhere. This is a group of people in one building. You know where they are. That's fair.
Okay. And for Mary, that woman from Modern Family. Tony knows which one I'm talking about.
Oh, you mean Sofia Vergara, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't mention her.
I almost did, man. That bitch is fine as hell, man. Oh, yeah, she's perfect, man.
Yeah, and
I wonder what she actually sounds like, because, you know,
she
she's
sounds like that.
More American.
She sounds like that. She has a heavy fucking accent.
Yeah, she did like an interview with Jay Leno once, and was just like, wow, that is her actual accent.
I think she's like Stephen Colbert.
No,
I think that's a character. I think maybe she sounds like a girl.
No. I've known about this woman before she became big in America. She was like.
How do you still have that accent after how long you've been in America?
Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It doesn't make any fucking sense, Tony. You don't sound like a fucking Dominican.
Of course I don't. I've been here since I was 7 years old, man.
How long has she been here?
Dude, I have like, listen to
You
my
have
mom.
connections? You all know
listen,
each other?
No, listen to my mom. She's been living here just like 30 years and she's fucking accent. It doesn't go away after a while. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Still the same accent. Hasn't gone away.
It's not the same accent.
No, but it's still like, oh, I'm Arnold. He doesn't sound normal, you know?
He has a little accent.
I think that's more Arnold and less average.
Go back and watch some of his old movies. It is amazing. You're just like, holy shit.
Oh no, he got better at pronouncing stuff. Like, give me address there. Like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't say it like that now. He'll go, give me the address there. You know, he'll say it like that. He'll add.
I'm saying she still sounds like fresh off the boat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, she does, but you know.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that because it sounds.
Because boobs. I know. I get it.
And ass.
I know.
Yeah.
For sex, I honestly don't. Just throw in some random up-and-coming singer. I don't know. Not that retarded one. What's her face?
There's a lot
The
of
one that
retarded
everyone
singers.
hates.
You're going to really have to narrow
Is
it
it
down
something
more.
Banks? The Australian one. I know that Charles right now is like screaming her name at me.
I don't pay attention to modern pop. music.
Charles, you know the one I'm talking about. That Australian one, the blonde one, that makes no sense. Is it Azalea Banks or Iggy Azalea? That's the one. Yeah.
No idea who that is.
Just not her. Just anyone apart from her. That's all.
I love how Manny's texting me about Silent Hills like I didn't know this shit already.
Is he like your Shaz?
I think he is my Shaz. He always comes to me like a day or two later after news broke. It's like, Manny, look, here's my post when I talked about this. Anyway, okay, Chris, what about you, man?
Shit, I don't know. They give us too much thought. I guess I just killed Justin Bieber because fuck it.
Yes.
I don't know, Ben Kate Upton.
Ooh, that's a good one. The big ass titties, hell yeah, man, that's a good one.
And I don't know about Mary. I'll abstain from that one.
Yeah, that's all right. Brett, I guess you're the last one.
I think I would kill Honey Boo Boo. I feel like that's. I feel like that's a.
I feel like that's merciful.
Yeah, like that is really that is merciful about the things that I feel should be done to Honey Boo Boo and the human race in general. Like that's me kind of jumping on a grenade. There's people I have a vendetta against, but we need to get rid of this thing. Fuck Mila Jovovich.
Ooh, good one.
That's
Yeah, he likes her.
Yeah, I do. That's
Lulu, man.
I don't think anybody again, nobody I'm particularly smitten with.
You think Jillian Jacobs is
I think
adorable?
I think she's adorable. Yes, I do. But that's not like I want to marry her. Like it's if I had to pick somebody, it'd probably be like Aisha Tyler.
Again, she's with you.
She reminds me of somebody I know.
I don't know how to take that.
By the way, can I give another answer too? For fuck, I would also go for Selma Hayek about 20 years ago. Oh my god, like holy shit! It's like you look at her, you just want to start facting.
Okay, wait a minute. That involves a time machine and completely changes the dynamic.
Yeah, we're throwing all kinds of new rules on here. Like, and I thought I was doing good. Like, just plucking something out of my ass. So.
And Cameron Diaz from The Mask. Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, but not Cameron Diaz
No
now.
time
No, not now. Not now. She looks like a skeleton. But in The Mask, man, perfect.
Are we talking from all time? Because I might have to change my answer to Betty Page.
Ooh, Brett, I like the way you think.
I'm sorry that no one said Will Wheaton yet.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to fuck Will Wheaton.
That's obvious.
It's an obvious one. We all want to kill him. It's like when we didn't talk about Uwe Boll.
Yeah,
as the
you know what?
director.
Actually,
it's obvious.
I'm surprised we didn't turn this into kill.
Yeah, right. We could easily do that. This is a throwdown, right?
Who's the greatest evil? I think Will Wheaton might actually be the greatest threat.
No, that's giving him too much credit.
Yeah, I mean, like, greater than Honey Boo Boo? Like, really?
Honey Boo Boo's not going to live past 10 years old, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that problem's going to take care of itself, man.
We hope so.
Eventually.
We hope so, but then, like, the amount of money that she's raking in, like, Who knows? She may like transplant her head like onto like a cybernetic body, and that's us screwed for life.
And that's how the human race ends.
All right, let's move on. My man Damian Percival. I'll answer this first question. You just get over with. How does it? Because he's obviously throwing a jab at us. How does it feel getting the same questions over and over again? We don't always get the same questions over and over again. We do sometimes, not all the time. All right, now his actual question: who do you think has more pressure to showcase better games at this year E3 out of the big three console companies? That's a pretty interesting question. A cat. Hold on, Podcat. We're gonna stop everything. We gotta look at the cat right now. Hello,
Yeah,
Malcolm.
I'm just going to respond as the podcat.
There you go. So which company has the most to show? I guess I'm gonna go with Sony because they don't have any first party games for the fall. So probably them. Even though I'm pretty sure they're gonna show some. Microsoft, we already know what they're gonna bring in. Nintendo, you know what? I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck. Whatever.
I was just about to say Nintendo, because like, what do they have this fall?
Yeah, that is true. Sony at least has something.
Yeah, Nintendo is not. Plus, they lost Zelda. They took Zelda out of the equation for E3. So with your biggest card now out completely out, and you're not showing anything for Zelda, that puts way more pressure on them.
Okay.
Like, Star Fox is still up in the air.
You know what? I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna go with Nintendo. For the fall they have really nothing.
Well, can it be called pressure if nobody cares and everyone expects you to fail?
Oh yeah, that is a good point too.
I mean, that's kind of one of those, like, no pressure, dude. Like, everybody just knows you're gonna whip this. Just go out there, try your best. We'll be proud of you for going out there.
I just love that it looks like the cat's talking. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares about Nintendo? So yeah, I'll stick with Sony because that's a real contender. Sorry.
I want to say Sony too because they've kind of got the good graces of the gaming community, but now is the time when they really need to prove to everybody that they made a wise investment.
This dude is Blofeld. Brett, you are Blofeld right now. You know that, right? You don't see your
Dr.
face.
Claw.
Yeah.
I was thinking Dr. Claw.
You're Blofeld, man.
Have you ever tried to do a Dr. Claw voice for any extended period of time? It fucking hurts.
Oh no, it's easy. I am Dr. Claw. I will destroy Dr. Gadget.
I tried to do a Dr. Claw voice for like 10 minutes, and at the end of it, I couldn't speak.
Next time we hang out, I will do that for you. Let's see how long I can do a Dr. Claw voice. I'm not going to do it for the show because obviously the people, they need to hear my silky smooth voice. All right, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, no, the obvious answer is Nintendo, but if we're going with who gives a fuck because they already fucked it up, then it's Sony. But
Yeah.
if we have to objectively look at all three, then yeah, they have the most. Nintendo's the most to prove because they done fucked it up and that was delayed and they've been fucking it up and
They done fucked it up.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you're gonna come out with Animal Crossing and E3, then just don't come. All right, that's all I have to say.
Oh God. All right, Rachel, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to who's got the most to prove.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll say Nintendo.
Oh man, Triforce is not going to be happy about this.
No,
Right.
just tell them to watch the Xbox conference. Watch the laser light show, the fireworks go off for Halo 5, and then go look at the Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct, and you tell me which one gets you more excited in the past. If you still say Animal Crossing, go to your nearest psychologist.
Or go to your nearest gun range and kill yourself accidentally.
No, I mean, no, we're being too hard on him. Like, just go to the park and try and make a friend because.
Oh wow, that's even worse. That's even worse.
That has connotations here, Brett.
Brett, that's even worse. All right.
That
this
has
one's-
connotations of men in giant trench coats with candy in them.
Oh wow.
Damn.
I
I
don't
didn't
know.
think about
Like,
that.
go get a cat.
And then 10 cats, right? All right.
Just something, man. Like, I'll be honest. I played a lot of Animal Crossing at one time, but I was also really drunk and really high for those few years. So I was not firing on all cylinders. And it's like putting somebody on a heavy amount of drugs in front of a cartoon. They're just gonna be like, okay, all right, sure. And I just happily dug fossils until I was like, the fuck am I doing?
Well, listen. I mean, there's a place for Animal Crossing. Don't get me wrong, but the place doesn't fit. If you look at a puzzle, there's a giant hole where Zelda was. If you're gonna drop Animal Crossing in there and be like, "We'll just show this," it's like putting a dropper into a giant bucket. It's like that's not enough. Not nearly enough.
I think they made the right choice by putting Animal Crossing on the handheld, because it's not really a sit in your living room play kind of thing.
No, it's not.
No, they put it on the handheld because the handheld's actually selling. That's why.
I don't know. They seem arbitrary about what they put where and how.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. All right, my man, him deal. Witcher 3 is right around the corner. For those of you picking it up, what most excites you about diving into this particular gaming experience, and how long do you expect to spend playing the W3 Sans expansion packs? Okay, first of all, who's definitely getting The Witcher 3? Like, no questions asked.
Mate,
Okay, yeah.
I did the sin of pre-ordering it, but I did it through... Wait. I did it through GOG, which is CD Projekt Red's distribution service, which is DRM. So
you're going to be my canary in the mine shaft. You're going to tell me if it's worth buying or not.
It has adult sex scenes, like
Yes.
Well, yeah, but come on.
Titties.
I just go, if I want that, I'll just go for Japanese games.
No, but that's like overtly weird titties with tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of us have strange tastes, and some of us are kind of desensitized, Brian. I'm sorry.
I'm not sold on the entire Witcher series myself.
Yeah, you didn't like the first one, I know.
I like the first. I keep trying to play them, but I keep finding them restrictive, and it's not like Dragon Age where you can just tell your own story. And the story they tell, I don't find it very interesting. And maybe I'm not sophisticated or I'm not adult enough. Like, it just seems like parts of Gundam where I'm like, oh, fucking get on with it, please. Like, let's just move along. Yes, okay, you're flirting with this girl, and there's consequence. Also, like, it's just little bits of the world. It's this weird kind of low fantasy, magic potion kind of middle ground. And while I like the tone, I find myself bored and uninterested every time I play it. And at this point, by the third iteration, I'm pretty sure that I've missed the boat.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump in on that. That's the problem. I want to get this game, but I don't know if I can get this game because it's the third one. I don't have access to the first two at all. So I'm kind of like, what the fuck do I do? I know this is a story-based game, heavily story-based game. I want to get it. It's definitely up my alley, but I don't think I can buy it because I won't know what the fuck is going on. So, yeah, I probably won't get it, which sucks because I want to get it. So that's my answer. What about you, Brian? Since you're actually looking forward to it, you didn't actually finish. What are you looking forward to besides the sex scenes?
Story, mythical creatures. I'm always interested in that. I'm just interested to see like this time around what creatures they can fathom up, because it's actually like Witcher is a hunter that hunts down. It's Bloodborne, but more fantasy. You're a hunter that kills down fantasy beasts. That's essentially what a Witcher is. So I'm just interested to see what fantasy beasts they have in, what storyline is going on, and all that cool stuff, you know. And plus, there's generally nothing for me to get excited for until probably The Division. Again, I'm not a Batman fan. Like,
ooh, shock.
Yeah, it's like I'd seen them. I was like, okay, I acknowledge that they're good, but again, I'm just not excited for them. And this holiday season, nothing for me to get excited for. The only thing that I'm waiting for at the moment is The Division. Everything else just seems to be, like even Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I'm excited, but it's not day one for me. Just I'll wait it out. I'm fine. You know. Man. So essentially, like this is like my time fill until something big that I'm looking forward to comes around.
All right. Anybody else in this game? Chris, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm 85% in. I feel bad that I didn't play the other Witchers, but yeah. I really want to play it. So I might. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get it. And how long I play it, I don't know. As long as it's interesting, if there's shit to do, and I don't know. You know, big world. I have no idea how long the game is gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a monster game by itself already. Yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. Because I definitely want to get it, but I want to get in there and be completely lost. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
If it's that immersive, I might play it for a while.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next question. Last question by him, Bill. If you could choose to, this is a fun one. If you could choose to binge watch the entire Thundercats, Silverhawks, Mask, or Bionic 6 series, which do you choose and why? This is a tough one because, and remember, I used to love all these series when I was a kid. They're all terrible as an adult. So it's like I have to force myself to watch one of these. I guess I'm going to just go with Thundercats because I was obsessed with Lino and the fucking Sword of Omens and stuff. Even though when I saw Thundercats again when I was 15, it was painful. I'm like, this is terrible. I used to like this shit. Like, it was bad, but Thundercats, man. Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, it wasn't massive bad.
It wasn't that bad. Yeah, it wasn't
bad.
massive bad. And also,
Mask was
Thundercats
bad. Yeah.
Thundercats had a lore, and it was actually pretty continuous. Like,
Yeah,
everything they were doing was
serialized.
building on. Yeah. Whereas Mask, they were just randomly fighting with their cars that transfer. It was a giant toy ad.
Can I be honest? I didn't like Silverhawks very much. Like, I watched it, but it didn't, like, grab me, you know? Bionic 6 would have been my runner-up because I used to love that. It's the robots. I mean, come on. That's awesome. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Thundercats. I think with Thundercats, it's just the way it was told was stupid, but the lore was pretty consistent, like you said. They built something really cool. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Thundercats.
Yeah, that's going to be my answer. I think so. I think while Silverhawks was good and was by the same guys, Silverhawks didn't seem to have much of a lore other than this guy is evil and they fight him constantly, and I didn't feel like anything was happening. Just the same shit over and over again. And
Also, I thought
Mask-
Mumra was pretty cool.
Mumra was awesome.
Yeah, I used to watch.
Oh, the ancient. Yeah, come on, man. That's awesome.
I used to watch Mask as a kid, but yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
I
Mask,
don't watch it.
yeah. Yeah, you can still get some fun out of Thundercats, you know? I mean, just the intro animation alone is awesome, you know?
Dude, they remade it even, and I
Yes,
thought the
and by
remake
the way,
was pretty good.
thank you, Brett. The remake was fantastic. I thought it was really good. I wish they would have brought that back. I thought that was really good, and it also showed you that the lore of Thundercats still holds up, you know?
Yeah, it was a true to source, you know, kind of reboot, which it was one of the few that I'm actually like, they did a really good job here of updating this and bringing it to a new generation.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah, I wish they continued it.
Rachel, you have an answer?
I'm just gonna go. I agree with you in the whole stuff not holding up nostalgia-wise. I've been ruined by so many shows like that.
Yeah, but if
I'm
you
gonna
had
go
to
with
choose,
Thundercats.
yeah, there you go. That one holds up the best, I guess. But
Yeah.
you saw it again, right? Like when you were like an adult and stuff, it didn't hold up, man.
No,
It was like,
no, it didn't. It didn't. But you know, with enough intoxicants, I can tolerate it.
There you go. All right. Brian's probably out of this one anyway because he probably never really seen any of those. All right. Black Star. Let's get to your questions. This is a really good one actually. I need to think about this one. Which franchise were you a big fan of last gen, but have now officially given up on this gen? For me, it's Assassin's Creed. I played Unity for 2 hours and was done. All right. So, what do you say, Chris?
Shit. Well, I returned Unity, so that was
Just like Brett did.
yeah, I got my money back for that shit, and I ended up buying Far Cry.
Best decision I ever made.
Fuck, you know, I think that's my answer too, because Unity, I didn't even, and remember, I bought every Assassin's Creed game, and when I heard there were 2 Assassin's Creed games, I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. I didn't buy it. I think that's my answer, Assassin's Creed. It's like,
Yeah, that would have to be my answer, because like I took that shit right back to the store.
I'm gonna jump back this year, but yeah, last year they lost me, man.
I might say Bethesda actually, and
That's a franchise though.
yeah, I was about to say the Elder Scrolls franchise.
But I thought you loved
Whoa.
Skyrim's.
Gasp.
Yeah, for reasons that we'll discuss later.
Uh-oh. All right, no Brian here again. Rachel, what about, Brian's coming back.
I'm back. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, franchise.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
actually no franchise
go
that I love that actually has made it so far this generation. Like all the ones I loved are pretty much dead.
Oh, man.
Like Mercenaries is dead. There was that. Burnout is all but dead. They did make that Black game, that FPS one. That's
Yeah.
never happened. Need for Speed dead. Red Faction dead. So now you know why I'm dead inside.
I thought it's not just because you're British.
Well, that
and
helps.
too, of course.
Rachel, what about you?
Pass. Master Race.
All right. Didn't the Master Race have any big franchises last gen? Well, there is no gen for.
What's a gen?
That's the gen. It's just everything. You guys have no line. You have no line of demeliation over there. She's like, okay, it just goes on forever.
Well, the PC equivalent of that, if I could wrest a translation out of her, would be the Sims franchise, I think.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Because you loved
Because
Sims
it
3, but
went from 3 to 4, but yeah, that barely even counts.
He went from to shit from
yeah,
what you were
because the
telling
fact
me.
that Sims puts out a new base game every 10 years doesn't ring true of generational at all.
All right, move on here. Next one. This is a fun one. Would you give up your sense of taste for the power to fly like Superman? Everything would literally taste like cardboard.
Question.
Yes.
Does this involve having Superman's resistance to crashes as well?
And I'm glad you asked that because that's the big stipulation for me. It's like, okay, you can fly, right? But, you know, how fast can you fly? And if you go really fast, will, like, your face be destroyed by bugs like slam into you at 1,000,000 miles an hour? You know?
Or if you fly up too high, would you like run out of oxygen and then plummet and like splat on the ground? Like I would probably kill myself within 48 hours.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't know. As much as I'm not gonna fly. Fuck that. I'm gonna keep my sense of taste, even though I'm not a big foodie like that. You know, it's like yeah, right, Brett. I'll probably kill myself within the first 24 hours. So, what's the point?
Now, if I could actually fly like Superman, like, you know, fly through fucking, like, if you had just some kind of, like, stasis field that happened around you as you flew that, like, you know, protected you from, like, slamming into buildings and bugs and oxygen and all that shit, like Superman can fly through space. So if you're saying I can fly like Superman, I can fly through space and then come crashing down and slam into the ground, leave a big fucking crater on my way to work, like, yes. Yes. I will gladly be like, nutrition shake. And people are like, isn't that disgusting? Like, I don't really care. All right, boom, bust through the ceiling, fly up somewhere.
You know what? You're right about that. Okay, if it's exactly like Superman, where I'm invulnerable while flying, then yeah, who the fuck cares, right? Okay, I'll take fly because I'll lose a lot more weight. I'll be like, just drink a shake every day and stuff. You know, it'll be good. But yeah, if I die within the first 24 hours because I slam into a building, then no, I'll keep my sense of taste. All right, what about you, Brian?
Why not? Like I can get to work and back faster, even though it's 10 minutes down the road. I can still get there faster.
Brian, you could visit me, man.
I can visit Tony. You know, hey, I can visit you, then visit Fonzie, then visit Abu Dhabi, and then come back home. Boom, sorted. No travel costs.
Fly around like counterclockwise to the rotation of the Earth and turn back time.
I don't think that's how time works.
It does, according to the first Superman movie.
But no, my biggest concern is just governments, because I don't know if they'll be like likely to like shoot you down because you're in their airspace. So
fly low, fly low. Remember GTA taught us that you fly low, you can't catch you on radar.
I don't think that video games like translate well into real life, even though that some people do for some odd reason.
So if I beat up a hooker, I won't get my money back. Is that what you're telling me?
You will, but it won't end very well for you.
You'll also get other people's monies back.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, my biggest concern would be getting shot down by the government and whatnot, because I know that there's like a bunch of airspaces that like you can't fly over, and if you do, like either the US will be mad at you, or Russia will be mad at you, or South Korea or North Korea will be mad at you and whatnot.
What are the Koreas?
What are the Koreas?
People will be mad at you, essentially. So
fly over Africa, you'll be all right.
You'll be fine.
Don't land in Africa. Don't land in Africa. Then you won't be fine. A whole continent.
I just recommend staying away from Africa.
Yeah.
And probably the Middle East. That's just generally good advice, I think.
Well, but if I did, I'd probably just land in Area 51 and just take like a bunch of selfies and just fly out. Why not?
They can put their selfies on an alien. Oh god.
Hey, if I'm gonna die, then might as well just like do something meaningful with my life. You know, like
make sure you upload it to Twitter before they shoot your head off.
No, I uploaded to everything apart from Twitter. Twitter's the last place I'd upload it. No, I'd send it to a bunch of people, and then I'd upload it. So that way, when Twitter takes it down, all the other guys can spread it around. You know.
All right, good. No, because I'm telling you, you need to upload it fast. Because the instant you take that selfie, a second later, you will be killed. It's over. All right, Chris. What about you, man?
I'll only give it up if I get the whole Superman package, solar flare included.
Yeah,
everything. Not just fly, everything. You gotta get heat vision, cold breath, everything. The whole package.
And the cellophane S powers and the hypnotic kiss.
No, nothing from the Richard Donner movies. Forget that.
And even the rebuilding walls vision.
Oh, masonry vision. I'll take that because that's pretty useful. Because if I go slamming through a building, then I could just look at it and it would just fix it.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah.
They work in tandem.
I mean, he fixed the Great Wall of China, so I could fix fucking anything at that point.
You don't want the power to like become, like split yourself in two after you get really, really drunk. You don't want.
Oh yeah. If I get really fucked up, then yeah. I mean, I'll take that too. Why not? So in the whole package, man. And then I won't really need to eat because the sun will just feed me, so I'll be fine.
Oh man. All right, Rachel, finish this off. What do you say?
I like food too much, and I'd kill myself. Like, that's the reason I wouldn't get a motorcycle, is because I would fucking kill myself. Like, it would be a great, 2 weeks of fun.
2 weeks? You pretty that in 2 hours, probably.
Yeah, I once crashed a moped.
Oh, wow. We got to hear that story one day.
No, there was really nothing to it. I braked, or I accelerated when I should have braked, and went into a fence post at 5 miles an hour. It was great.
Did some guy run over to you and take his shirt off?
What?
Oh, no Twilight reference? No one's watched Twilight, second film, where she crashes.
No.
She crashes her
What are
bike.
you making a Twilight reference for, Brian?
Because there's one guy who found that funny,
You're
and
supposed to
that
keep
one
that
guy
shit
thanked
hidden.
him.
Whoa. I leave for 20 seconds to get a drink and I come back and Brian's making Twilight references?
Yes.
What the fuck just happened here?
References
I make
that are going,
references to anything.
yeah, references that are going over everybody's head because no one's watching that shit.
Are you all Drax now?
Yeah, pretty much. My reflexes are too fast. All right, next question. Last question for Black Star. Brett, you came back just in time for this one. Let's try not to go too in-depth with this because we're going to go really in-depth with it on Throwdown. And Brett actually just told me about this yesterday. I didn't know anything about this because of the Joker picture. I'm like, wait, this is happening? This is big. Why haven't I heard about it?
Oh, God.
Anyway,
The internet is exploding.
yeah, Brett was like, this is the internet is exploding. Like the Joker picture, right? He's like, no, dude, Val. I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Brian knows what I'm talking about.
Brian
I'm
knows.
interested to hear what Brian has to say.
Yeah, I'll let
If
you
you
guys
ever-
go off.
I'll try and find the picture, because Tony, you will love this picture. Anyway, go on, Tony.
Okay, anyway, I'm not sure if this will be discussed on the show. Yes, it is. But for the PC guys, what is your opinion of Valve having paid mods for Skyrim and Bethesda only giving the creator 25% of the money? Just to give my 2 cents, I know firsthand how much better some of these mods make Bethesda games, and some of them I would even label essential. For Bethesda to want to profit off the modders' hard work that makes their games work better on their shitastic engine is straight up bullshit, in my opinion. Again, just try to keep it succinct, because I want to really go into this on Thursday. But Brett, go ahead, since you're the one that actually made me aware of this whole situation.
Oh God. Okay. I won't get into the logistics, the technicalities. I'll leave that for Thursday. So I'll just give my personal response, and that would be to Bethesda. And it would be something akin to remember Morrowind. Remember strolling through the evening nights, stabbing people and looting their corpses for funsies? Do you remember sailing endlessly through the skies, hunting those little pterodactyl things that always fucking swarmed you? Do you remember Fallout and walking through the desert at night, shooting people with a sniper rifle, and all the fun we had? So why are you gonna fuck me like this, Bethesda? Why are you gonna bend me over and just fuck me like this? I forgave you for the DLC. Actually, I didn't forgive you. We all kind of just let that shit slide. But fuck it. While we're at it, let's just bring it back out. Bethesda, you are fucking single-handedly responsible for all the DLC shit that we've suffered. I lay Evolve directly at your feet, and your horse armor peddling bullshit. I am fucking sick of it. Each generation, you come out with a game that is significantly worse than the one before it. You're supposed to make a game that's open-ended, and you just cut shit out left and right. We're supposed to be making progression. All you do is make shit shinier and get in fucking people's way. And now you're going to usher in, because you haven't monetized everything enough and fucked up everything enough for the rest of us, you're going to come in and give us microtransactions that you're taking 75% on and having zero quality assurance on? Go fuck yourself.
All right. By the way, I have to say this. I love how well you were making that impassioned speech. Chris was petting his dog, who's very cute. Hello, pod dog. Yeah, the way you explained it to me, it sounds pretty fucked up, but like I also told you, I also find it very amusing too, how the PC guys are kind of just fighting with each other. Like, as a console guy, I'm kind of slightly loving this, what's happening. It's
the general PC to PC person is, this is the shit we make fun of console players for.
Yes, that's very ironic, and I get satisfaction out of that. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't get satisfied. I think it's shitty. I think it's shitty. I don't want that poison to like go upward, right? And Bethesda just fucking brought it full force right in there. Hey, look, we can get money off these guys. Thanks for fixing the game. Fuck you. We'll take that, and yeah, here's a quarter, kid. Thanks.
Yeah, I love how like we're doing it for the modders. Like, really, that's why you're taking away 75%?
Yeah.
Now, granted, this stuff was free and it was a community-based thing to begin with, and so they're acting like they're doing some sort of favor to the modders, like, oh, we'll you establish a price for it, we'll kick you 25% of that. Like, oh, thanks. Like, you didn't have anything. Granted, I haven't done any mods. I've only done like reskins, but it's kind of the same thing as far as like doing fan art based on somebody else's character, and and how muddy the lines are in whether you can ethically sell that or not. And I kind of agree with it should be a free, open, community-based thing. If people want to come out with official mods or whatever that you charge for, great. If you want to open up a donation system where people pay what they are able to or what they want to pay, then great, do that. But to blanket just force it on I think my tweet pretty much summed it up. I was just like, y'all greedy motherfuckers need Jesus.
Can I just say,
Black Jesus,
before we get too far down this rabbit hole, can I just say, like, why could Bethesda just not reach out in a like weird community outreach program or an internship program? Like, why can't they just peruse the workshop themselves and officially sponsor certain mods that they view as high quality, and it could be a kind of bridge between actual employment with, you can actually get experience working with the studio, but you would be a freelance contractor. You wouldn't actually be an employee, so they wouldn't have to pay you like an employee.
Yeah,
they could
God,
still
we
charge
don't,
for your
we
stuff.
don't want another rocket, Dean Hall.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to put the system in where it's going to poison the well. You can just go through, and this is what good companies often do, and cherry pick the best mods, turn them into their own games, turn them into official DLC or expansions, make them supported by the developer. There's no problem with that. If Bethesda wanted to go through and went, this is a really good mod package, I'm going to get in touch with this guy. We're going to have our people polish it up a little bit, make sure it passes all the quality assurance and isn't going to bug out with any of this stuff, and then we'll release it and give this guy 25-30%. Like, that would be fine. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to build an environment of monetization. And even Gabe Newell went in on one of his threads when he was talking about that, and they said, oh, we've only made $10,000 in the last 2 days. That's $10,000 fucking dollars off of 18 mods on one fucking game. Yeah, I realize that his point was that he's spending millions of dollars paying people to sort through these emails, these hate emails, so he's not actually making money. Yeah, the very beginning is going to be hard, but they're going to make money hand over fist. And if they're trying to shove it down our throats that this is good for us, that's not the case. There are other ways that they could go about making things that would be good for the consumer.
Yeah, and I don't like this attitude that's coming across as just like, well, this is the way it's going to be. It's community driven. Deal with it. Like, fucker, it's not.
No, that
Like,
wasn't decided by the community. It was decided by them. Those were business decisions.
right? It's
That had
how can
nothing-
we monetize this? There's shit flying around for free that we could be making money off of, and trying to sell it as anything else is disingenuous and bad for the consumer.
Keep in mind with Skyrim that there's multiple mods, quote unquote, that actually fix parts of the game which were broken. You know, pathing UIs, balance things, and they're viewed as integral by a lot of the community. One of them is like Sky UI or something like that, and it's going to be behind a paywall. So the community has graciously stepped in and fixed, like, everybody knows, even if you love Bethesda games, they're buggy as shit. And they've been kind of, letting the community fix those up, and a lot of these, there's, I want to say, 4 integral patches, or patches, mods by the community that are viewed as necessary to continue playing the game. And most of those are going behind paywalls. So my problem here is, okay, it's bad enough that you're letting other people do your job for you, but now you're charging people. So now not only do I have to buy the game, but I have to buy these mods that fix the game.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. But again, we'll get into that on the show. But I think, just talking objectively, it's kind of fucked up. It really is. And Gabe, man, I thought he was these people's gods, man. You're betraying them, man. What's up?
Well, totally funny. It's actually funny that you'd say that, because this picture has been floating around the PC Master Race Reddit, and there it is.
Right, let's see what's up.
I kid you not.
Wow.
That has actually been floating around, and people are saying, "Yep, that's pretty much true."
Yeah, for you guys who are just listening to the show, it's the picture of Superman statue with the false god written on it, with Gaben's face on it. Yeah. Okay, we'll get into this more on Thursday, but yeah.
Before we get off, I want to add to Brian's thing. Like, I have also heard a lot of people say, like, "Oh man, this is how Obi-Wan must have felt."
Oh yeah, there's even been like a meme of that with, like, on one side Obi-Wan saying, "You were meant to be the chosen one. You were meant to be the one that were meant to change things, like to change balance in the Force or whatnot." And the other side just Gaben there with like his lightsaber.
Wow.
Yeah, for the first time in Reddit history that Gaben has been downvoted to hell in the gaming subreddit.
And even on the official PC Master Race forum or like Reddit, this is commonplace now. It's like that one day when like things are just completely backwards,
The community has risen against Gaben. Very interesting. All right, let's move on to Gary Swaby. He's asking some questions. I love Gary's questions. This is a good one too. The first one: which 3 things does DC/Warner Brothers need to build? Basically, what do they need to do to build their DC universe to the standards of Marvel's universe? Right now, they're not getting off to a good start with the whole forcing thing, But what 3 things do they need to make their universe stand out for Marvel's and make it successful? I guess he's trying to say. Here's the thing. I want to say don't make it so fucking dark, but Marvel's not that dark, so maybe they need to go dark to distinguish themselves, but I don't know if that's going to work well for them. You obviously got to respect the characters, which I guess I don't know. Did you think they respected Superman in the Man of Steel? Because I don't know. It's a tough one. They need to respect the characters, and they need to. It's a hard one, man. I'll need to come back for the third one. Rachel said pass. Let's go with Chris for now. What 3 things does DC need to do to make their cinematic universe as good as Marvel's or different or whatever?
DC needs the head of the production of DC movies needs to go in a time machine back 10 years and start establishing your characters from that point.
Yes.
Start creating a cohesive universe that all links together into a Justice League movie. You have no fucking excuses. You own every character. They're all in the Warner Brothers and DC. Mm-hmm. Why haven't you fucking done this already? Why hasn't this happened? You wasted time. Green Lantern sucked. You threw away the whole Dark Knight trilogy, and now you're starting over with a brand new Batman. You only had one Superman movie, and that's after the other one sucked. Superman Returns is just a turd, and holy shit. So now you have the fruit cocktail of superhero movies with everybody thrown in there. All I want to see is Batman punching Superman, but we're going to get Jason Momoa popping out of the ocean somewhere, and Wonder Woman's going to throw a lasso for 3 seconds. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Alfred looks like a goddamn villain. You got Facebook is Lex Luthor. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing.
So in other words, you don't have a solution.
I don't have a solution except a time machine, which doesn't exist, so really there is no solution.
It's
I
tough.
think you fucked it up already.
All right, Brian, what about you, man? I'm saving you for last, Brett.
Oh God.
What's the
Right.
question again? Sorry.
Okay, the exact question. I'll read it again. Which 3 things does DC/Warner Brothers need to build a good DC universe that stands out from Marvel's? Keyword good.
Oh, it's simple. I can't believe I actually missed this. Okay, they take the animated movies, make them live action. Sorted.
Holy shit. Actually, yeah, the animated movies are fantastic.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah. It's so simple. Like those animated ones are freaking brilliant.
Brad didn't
Just
even
take them,
answer. He just
add
gave you one.
people, and
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
it. You know, like. But then
You know what
again,
you did,
there
you know
have
what you did in
been.
the animated series? Do that stuff.
Yeah,
With
do what you did in the
people.
anime series.
What?
Just make it all
I
make it all cohesive, and you're
Okay.
good to go.
Okay, I'll expound on that answer. Stop giving Bruce Timm the window seat and let him run the fucking live action
Yes,
movies.
thank you. If you had,
Let Bruce Timm run the live action shit.
yeah, he'll write that shit. Bruce Timm will fucking nail it, man. He actually understands the characters. By the way, they had an animated Suicide Squad movie. Now they're having a live action one. Interesting. Anyway, any other answers, Brian, or just that one? Because that's a pretty big good one
that's
right
it.
there. All right, Brett, finish us off, man.
I have a few suggestions. Yes.
Yes.
First, bear with me here because these may sound a little out there. Take the characters you have in the comic books, or the heroes, or the protagonist, if you will, the ones the comic books are named after, and put them in your movies. I don't mean cheap facsimiles. I don't mean like those Geico commercials where like I'm kind of like your superhero. No, I mean the ones that are in the comic books. Put those guys in movies. That's one. 2. Continuity. If something happens, keep that thing happened. Don't go back and tell me the same story every day like a 5-year-old who thinks they're reinventing the wheel. I get it. Batman has an origin story. Quit putting the same 3 sequels out. Like I'm done. And put it with Spider-Man too. Both of you, just stop. And finally, and this kind of is going back to the first one. Take the comic books and look at the characters in them. And then when you make a movie, make those characters look the same. I know this is an out there thought, but don't take a 45-year-old, Kingpin-esque middle-aged hyper genius industrial badass and make him young Steve Jobs. That's I honestly can't put that any simpler. It's just look. I actually can make it simpler. Make movies based on your fucking comic books because those sell and people like them. Don't make movies that aren't like your comic books.
So in other words, do what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, but I guess basically, like, I don't know why every time DC makes a movie, they're like, all right, we've got to go down in history and do everything different this time. Like, no, don't make it fucking clownish and garish Batman. Don't give me believable Bane. Just fucking look at the comic books. They're great. Do that stuff. I mean, they're pretty much storyboards. It really shouldn't be that hard. I know Watchmen didn't sell that well, but that doesn't mean that you need to just redo everything, especially when someone's like, I don't understand the logic behind somebody being like, this thing here, this thing is great. And people's response being like, let me give you something like that. But I'm perfectly happy with this. I would love to watch a movie version of this. That would please me very much. Just make that.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to do any of this stuff. I mean,
They
but
don't. They don't.
they don't. They don't.
haven't.
You know.
They're not. They're not. We know
Okay.
the next movie
That is
they're
true.
making.
Yeah, everybody's pissed about the Joker. I actually liked it, by the way. I like the way Joker looks. But yeah, he doesn't look the way he does in the comics. The thing is, Brett, you can't make it one for one either, because if we would have had X-Men like they did in the comic books, Wolverine with the yellow outfit, no one would have took that shit serious. So you got to make some changes.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's stuff that you have to change for believability because it doesn't work in film. But there's a reason comic book heroes are drawn one head higher than your standard average person. Everything in comics is supposed to be a little larger than life. Quit fucking trying to dial that back. Yeah, place it in a more believable context, but if I wanted Bane in my superhero movie, I wanted a crazy super genius who filled himself with hulking toxin. Like, if you're not going to give me that, don't put Bane in the movie. I'm sorry I keep bitching about this, but it's the same thing, and every time they want to just change Bruce Wayne and Batman and all those fucking villains into something different. At least this last Superman was a little bit, more true to origins for the most
Yeah,
part.
with Superman beating the shit out of powerful dudes, not just lifting up a kryptonite mountain. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I mean, so...
By the way, Brett, I need to jump in real quick. I find it ironic that you're saying all the stuff you're asking for, DC's already doing in The Flash. So my answer, another one, do what they're doing in Flash. Flash is like, yep, we're a superhero show. We don't give a fuck. The villains have supervillain names. I have a crazy costume that I just show myself with. Like, yeah, just do what The Flash is doing. And that show is fun. It's fun, damn it.
That's what we all want.
Yeah, Flash is probably the most comic book show out there, like straight up comic book show. But the movies aren't reflecting that. I'm actually afraid of the Flash live action movie. I'm like, are you gonna make it all super dark now? Like, do what the show's doing. The show's cool. It's believable, but it's still fun. I don't know. DC, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Deadpool movie because I think everybody's waiting to see.
It's rated R.
Not just because it's rated R, because it's gonna be over the top. That's the nature of it. It's gonna be gritty, dark, violent, but still kind of comedic and over the top. And I think a lot of people are hesitant to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
I don't understand because that sounds great.
Yeah. By the way, Fox is finally getting their shit together. Age of Apocalypse, Deadpool, and Gambit are all gonna tie together now. They're gonna be in the same universe because people like that shit. It's cool. All right. Moving on. Last two questions. This one's fun. Do you think Bloodborne's success has created a demand for difficult games? I don't know because I think
I sure as fuck hope so.
You think so? I don't know. I mean, go ahead, Rachel. You can expound on this. I got something to say about this.
Well, I mean, just the fact that so many people were taking it on, you had to be walked into it. I sort of looked at it, played it for a little bit, and decided it wasn't my deal and moved on. A lot of people, though, are picking it up and accepting, rising to the challenge that it puts out there. And, good for that. And I hope a lot of other video games kind of follow suit. As far as demand, I don't know. I think it takes a certain kind of personality and a certain kind of gaming style to appreciate the whole, the harder I work for something, the richer the reward. It's kind of, Minecraft sort of trained us on that, I think, if you want to look back, or if you want to pull something back in the not-so-distant past. You work and you work and you work all day, and then your shit can be blown up in an instant by a creeper. And it hurts all the more because you spent all day on the fucking thing. So I get it. I get the whole, challenge and reward thing, but as far as demand, I don't know. It's a question of faith in humanity, and I don't have very much of that. So.
Does anybody remember their favorite character dying in Final Fantasy Tactics?
Not really, because I didn't get past the first chapter in that game.
No, the old one, not the new one. The old
Oh,
one.
I know the old one. The old one on the, I played the remake of it. Obviously, actually, it wasn't a remake. It was the exact PS1 version. It was on PSP. I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't. That game was like, it was too grindy even for the beginning. It's like, let me grind later on. Let me get accustomed to the story first. You got a mega grind in that game, but no, I don't remember it.
It sucked when you ground out a character and they died, and they actually died forever. Permanently.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. That kind of shit sucks. Here's the thing. Going back to the demand, I don't think it's going to embrace more demand because again, these are people. People like simple things. It's interesting that Bloodborne is so successful, but again, it happened with Demon Souls. When Demon Souls became successful, people were like, wait, what the fuck? How is this game becoming successful? There's a certain subset of people that want the crazy, challenging games, and that's there for them. So I don't know if it's going to bring more people into the fold, but for the guys who want it, and there's still a lot of guys out there, yeah, they're gonna demand more of those kind of games. So that's good. And by the way, just throwing it out there, me and Chris, what did we do last night, Chris? We got the platinum in this game, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Did it. So yeah, and I was one of those guys. I'm like, I don't know about this, but I stayed with it. I wish I could go back a month and tell Tony back then, like, yo, son, you're talking all that shit about Bloodborne, right? You're gonna get the platinum in a month. Like, get the fuck out of here. I wouldn't even listen to myself. That's how hard-headed I am.
I can believe that.
Yeah, the challenge dungeons are probably the hardest thing to get the platinum. Platinum is actually not that bad. Just watch what the enemy's doing. Move the fuck out of the way. You hit them, you back off. That's it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to raise demand. I don't think people are going to be clamoring for hard games because people are people, and people like easy things. No faith in humanity.
Like you said, Tony, like it's not that it's necessarily hard. It's just it holds you accountable. And I know a lot of people that played this game, they were like, "What is this strange feeling of accomplishment and pride I have after getting my ass kicked so many times?" They're like, "That's the Souls feeling, man." Like it's actually it's feeling good about having done something, not just passively sitting back and being like, that was pretty neat. Be like, dude, did you see what a badass I am? And while I don't think that we'll see necessarily Souls games, which, because not every game could be a Souls game, and to a certain extent, thank God, because I don't need to have a heart attack by the time I'm 40.
Yes.
Like it's a nice high water mark. It's a nice challenge, but sometimes you want something a little bit more relaxing, and that's okay too. But I think it will increase the demand, and I think it has been since Dark Souls was so successful, and Dark Souls 2 was successful beyond that. We've really seen the rise of a lot of roguelike games. In fact, it's almost an emerging genre, and the Souls series is repeatedly cited when talking about influences in those games. So you do see a cascading effect. You do see it bleeding over in other games. They won't be as hard as Bloodborne, but I think accountability and difficulty and earning something and the idea of possible satisfaction is something that's coming back into games.
You know what? I want to jump in on that because that's interesting. This is where I was stuck at. I said no because I'm thinking AAA, right? I don't think you're going to see more demand. Indie, because indie games are hard as fuck, So if you want those kind of hard games, you're probably going to see it in that. And I guess you're right. Those kind of games are the ones that are bringing that for the people who really want it. But AAA, I don't think we're going to start seeing like more challenging games in that area.
I think this is the result of that. Like I think this question actually should have been asked honestly when Dark Souls 2 came out, and Bloodborne is the answer to that. There was more demand for this kind of game, and Sony saw that demand and decided to capitalize on it. And they did in spades, and most likely they'll see something similar happen again. Like Sony's probably now sitting back and be like, holy shit, like we thought we were going to get money off this game. We thought this was going to be good, but I doubt even Sony expected this thing to go wildfire the way that it did. So.
Yeah, again, this history repeats itself. This is Demon Souls all over again. They were not expecting that, and it sold millions.
Exactly. So now Sony's going to be clamoring for something that they can, produce to fill that void. And From Software
too.
Yeah, From Software is going to have their hands full. I would not be surprised if From Software grew as a company and actually split off a secondary or another studio and started producing maybe even 3 games at a time.
From Software to Software, right? That'll be the second one. All right, Chris, what do you think, man?
I don't know if it's creating the demand versus like the demand was already there, and maybe they kind of did it with Demon Souls already. I think they were just going along a pattern that already got created. And I don't know if the other people will pick up the torch and then tell the difference between a challenging game and a difficult game, because it's very easy to just make some cheesy shit that's so hard that it's like unplayable because the shit's just like overpowered or whatever, versus like a challenge, and that's what the Souls game has carefully balanced. Like you have clever bosses and they have different phases of attacks and they handle things differently, versus just some shit that's just so impossibly hard because it's ridiculously cheesy and you have no odds of killing it. And it's like, can I platinum Bloodborne and Demon Souls? Yes, you can. Can I platinum 1,000 spikes? No, you can't. That game is ridiculously hard. Like, I don't look at the indie stuff like that because like some of it is just so like Rogue Legacy. If I beat Rogue Legacy, I'm gonna fucking drink that night. But I am not platinum. I'm not platining that game. Like it's so fucking hard. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. All right, Brian.
Yeah, pretty much Chris said what I was going to say. I don't think that it will create a. Oh, I don't think that it has created a demand. I just think that the demand was there. It just filled the void that people have been asking for. It's like the horror game franchise. It's like last gen we didn't get many horror games, and that's not because that we didn't want them, just that we weren't given them because they didn't think that there was a demand for it, even though that demand was there like the whole time. And then now we get like rest in peace, Silent Hills. There was Outlast. Like a whole bunch of horror games that are good and they sell well because, again, it's like the audience is there, and all you need to do is just give them what they want. So,
can I interject with a question here real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Why does nobody consider Bloodborne to be a horror game? I mean, people who play
some do.
Well, yeah, most people say it's a horror game, but it's not categorized in the horror genre.
You know why? Because when people think of horror games, they think of slow games where you're trying to avoid the enemies and stuff. They're not thinking about the actual horror you feel, which I say this game instills as much horror in you as hiding from a monster as an alien. It's the same thing, but they don't categorize it because of the actual gameplay.
Well, like the question is like, how many times have you walked into a room and said, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that?"
That's the ultimate. I have. Yeah, every time you ask, if you don't answer that question at least once a minute, you're not playing the game right, or something's wrong with you. That's the ultimate question. What the fuck is that? This is a game where when you walk into a room, you know how in typical games you walk into a room, when you're about to cross that hallway, you're like, "Let me slow down a little bit," because some shit will jump you. That's horror right there, man. And this game
I don't trust the staircase, not one little bit.
Yeah. And this game captures horror in a way that horror games do not, which is ironic because it's not a horror game technically,
The other thing is,
perfect example. Brett, can I just inject?
Yeah, go for it.
Perfect example are the bagmen in Bloodborne. If you guys have played against the bagmen, like you know, like like the mentality is the same for all people that have played him or played against him. It's all like, they see him the first time. Okay, dude, quite tall, wearing like cloth and whatnot. Okay, he seems like a pushover, and then he kills you. It's like, maybe that guy was just tough, and then you get taken to like a special place where there's like more than one of them, and then that's when the fear is instilled because you go one way, there's two of them. You go the other way, there's two of them, and you're like, shit. I tried to take out the one guy, and he fucked me up. So two of them, this is not going to work well. So, like, I don't think that I've ever played a game that has instilled like that level of terror in me before, where I literally don't do something purely because I'm scared of what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's not a case of you're underpowered or something. You can fight back. You can fight, but your fighting may not mean shit.
It's when space and the cosmos itself open up and shit out this horrible undead Cthulhu-esque beast that like murders you in one hit. It's like a certain kind of horror that almost breaks your will. You're like, I don't even. What do you do against this? What the fuck was that? But one thing that I find really interesting is when I think of this game as a horror game, I don't feel like I die as much. Like, you die a lot in horror games. Like, a lot in horror games. And if you kind of quantify this as a hard game, or as a horror game, I feel like a lot of its stigma and difficulty would kind of just disappear.
Yeah, exactly. Because in a horror game, you don't just run around killing shit. You take your fucking time. So you don't know what can kill you. You know, anything. The whole environment is hostile against you. That's a true horror game right there.
God, it's like Australia.
All right, and the last question, and this one is for those who have seen this movie. Do you think Oculus and Project Morpheus can lead way to a virtual world service ecosystem similar to the Oasis in the Ready Player One book? This question may only apply to Brett because I know he's familiar with the book. So Brett, this is two of your favorite things. This is that book and virtual reality. Go.
Gary, you're awesome. Yes, actually, this is kind of what I'm actually thinking about when I talk about, immersive interfaces and the potential of PlayStation Home, and how I'd love to see an avatar that moves laterally between games and slides into the default character slot. If I could have a person that, when I played Bloodborne, they pop in the default character slot, I'd be like, oh, for this game, I'm going to give them a big gnarly scar and sunglasses I can, but for the most part, I could play the same avatar throughout all my games. It's a really interesting concept, and I think it could be done really well, and we're starting to see a lot of the precursors to that technology now, so yeah, that excites me. They've actually done research on haptic vests, haptic chairs, haptic gloves, treadmills, things like that. It's in 10, 15 years, we could have full Oasis setups. I don't think the monetization would be quite the same as it is in the books because I feel like that's more of a narrative plot. But yeah, I absolutely feel we can get there. And the thing that gets me really excited is most of our greatest technology has come from sci-fi or fantasy writers, Jules Verne's, that kind of thing. Even James Bond movies. I read this really interesting story about how one of the James Bond movie special effects guys had come up with this little, rebreather apparatus, and they were actually approached by the CIA to try and get the patent, to figure out the technology for it. And they're like, this is just a prop. It's not a real thing. And within 10 years, they had invented it. So, it's very common for authors and artists to actually lead the way in technological advancement. You think it would be necessity, and you think it would be the engineers of the world, but these people tend to draw inspiration from fictional universes. So, yeah, I actually think that what we're seeing right now are the first baby steps towards this kind of dream that permeates the public zeitgeist for the most part. Like, we've all been collectively dreaming of true immersive VR environment for decades, and some of us are a little bit more cynical that it could actually happen than others, but there's a reason that it shows up in everything from Lawnmower Man to Star Trek to Ready Player One to any sci-fi universe. One of the first things they go to is like, oh, they have some kind of cool, crazy virtual reality world. So it's clear that people want it. It's just about building faith, and I think that now that I think somebody's been inspired by these books. Or these ideas, and they're actively trying to make this now. So, do I think that they could lead the way? Yes, because I think that it's not that we're accidentally stumbling in that direction. I think it's a very clear choice and a demand that kind of subconsciously runs through all of us. We'd all love to see it happen. So now that technology is catching up, we're starting to see that. And you always have projections of where you'd like to go before you get there. Sometimes they can be wildly inaccurate, like flying cars and hoverboards. But it's you could be fucking sure that after Back to the Future came out, we tried inventing hoverboards. Like, we wanted those motherfuckers, and if we could have invented them, we would have them by now. So, yeah, the short and long answer is absolutely.
Awesome. By the way, I always thought this book was like a documentary. Apparently it isn't. It's like an actual fictional thing. Like Ready Player One.
I'm sorry, what now? You cut out for a second on my end.
Oh, did I? Ready Player One. I always thought it was like a history of video games. Apparently it's a fictional thing.
Yeah, no, it's a story about like a somewhere near in the future kind of dystopian world where everybody goes on this. It's called the Oasis, and it is basically this neutral virtual reality network, kind of like PlayStation Home, but way more advanced. And from there,
I'm guessing.
What's that?
way better, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like it virtually constructs. Like you could like one of the people's home was like a basement filled with old records on the walls, like a little old stoner's den, or you could have Castle Grayskull, or you could have whatever place you wanted to live in. The book is full of so many pop culture references that it's amazing. But the basic idea is that you have this currency that is extended through all worlds, and you go from the Oasis into different worlds. Like you could jump into a D&D world and run through a D&D type adventure, and then you could jump back from that into Oasis and then into a sci-fi world, and you're flying a spaceship. But you could jump into a D&D world and complete an adventure and earn a shitload of gold, and then go into the sci-fi world, and that gold would be transferred into credits, and you could use those credits to buy a ship. So everything kind of connected to everything else, which would be a beautiful business platform because it would breathe new life into otherwise old and stale games. It could be like, I could just keep fucking playing Bloodborne to accrue, a currency that I could then use to buy a submachine gun on Grand Theft Auto. Like, that would be amazing and keep me in the system even longer. And the whole point of the game is that this thing is so awesome that it's kind of taken over, and all the internet has become the Oasis. And the world has actually started degrading outside because everybody spends so much time in this virtual reality world. I won't spoil much of it. It's an amazing book. Loot Crate actually just sent us a free copy of it.
Nice.
Check it out. It's worth a read, and it's a hugely inspiring game. And it's, like I said, it's full of so many pop culture references that it's infinitely entertaining.
Sweet. All right. I guess that's it for the show. A couple of things here. Otanime, we're gonna record it Monday. We had to change the schedule around a little bit, so you'll see it next Saturday. Age of Ultron review is up by Brian. Spoiler free, of course. Yep. And Brian, you were surprised with the Phase 1 and 2 stuff. I did not expect that. I came on the side, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So that was pretty cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I just thought I'd do like a quick rundown of Phase 1, Phase 2 so far, in case people, for some odd reason, as I mentioned,
you live in
somewhere,
Mars.
unless you live blindfolded under a rock on Mars. So, and plus it serves as a nice little introspect as how Marvel has done things. Like maybe as a good footnote for other companies making their comic books into movies. Hint, hint, people.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just thought, hey, it's fun, and plus it means I got to watch all of them again, and hey, that's not a bad thing.
Damn right. By the way, I still need to buy the Phase 2 movies. I don't own a single one of them. I'm waiting for all of them to be in a box set or something. So I own all the Phase 1 ones. Okay, so yeah, Otanime's coming back. We got the review up. Age of Ultron, obviously, we're going to have that spoiler alert for you Saturday or Sunday. On the weekend, it'll go up. I don't know who's going to be on it. I'm pretty sure me and Brian are definitely going to be on it. Chris will probably be on it. Manny will be on it. Throwdown this week, we may record it live a little bit late because I want to go see Age of Ultron on a Thursday night, and I'm pretty sure you guys will forgive me for that. I'm going with Manny. This is Age of Ultron. Like I told Manny, this is not a drill. This is not a drill, people. This is the real deal. Age of Ultron. So it may be a little late, but the show will still go up, and we're definitely going to talk about the whole Steam thing and just mods in general. It's a very interesting situation. And that is it. So let's wrap this shit up. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Co-op is going to go up. Monday, they're going to talk about the whole Steam situation fully. Gary apparently goes on a rant, which is funny because Gary's a very monotone kind of guy, so it'll be interesting to hear him go on a rant.
I want to hear what Gary has to say about this.
Yeah, because Gary's a big PC guy, so yeah, he has a lot to say about that. He said he may even do his own independent rant on this. He's pretty ticked off. Baby in the Beard, they're doing something on Sinestro this week, so check it out. Nice to the Turntable, obviously. They're always coming out with shit. So try to throw it down on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Twitter was very interesting this week. A lot of people were chiming in and stuff, so I like that. Links are available down there and all that good jazz. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Rachel Murdoch.
Bye, everybody.
Brian Manjoma.
Later, people.
And, of course, Brett Murdoch.
Insert witty comment here.
All right, guys. Later.